Whoa! This is the episode I've been looking forward to, guys. I cannot wait to go through this with you because it's a principle that I live my life through, and it's a story. I'm just going to get straight into it. By the way, it's Friday morning. It is episode 248. It's Motivated Entrepreneurs Podcast. I would love it if you would subscribe to the podcast. It would make my day because obviously I see how many downloads, etc. And we are steadily increasing and we are averaging well over 10,000 downloads a month now. And that is because of you amazing people. So I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And yeah, if you want to share it, that'd be awesome. Okay, this story I've heard it so many times, but I finally took the time to write it down. I'm going to read it. So if you're looking at me on camera, then I'm literally reading it because I wouldn't do it justice. I basically got this from Jay Shetty's book about being a monk and stuff. It's a book review tomorrow about that book as well. Great book. Really enjoyed it. And I've heard this story so many times and I've wanted to share it with you. But again, I would butcher it. So I've almost said it word for word as Jay Shetty because it's just a fantastic story. He delivered it so well. And obviously, I'm not going to deliver it as good as Jay Shetty because he is the man, but I'll give it a go. Okay. So a farmer's horse ran away one day. How unlucky, said his brother. How unlucky was it? The farmer, he shrugged his shoulders. Good thing, bad thing, who knows? I love that. So first, I'm going to say that again because I don't think I nailed it. I don't think I nailed the delivery. Probably. This is the first time I'll do it, I promise. Right. A farmer's horse ran away. How unlucky, said his brother. Shrug of the shoulders from the farmer. Good thing, bad thing, who knows? That was the farmer. A week later, the wayward horse finds his way back home and with a beautiful wild mare. That's amazing, the farmer's brother says. The farmer says, good thing, bad thing, who knows? A few days later, the farmer's son climbs upon the wild mare, hoping to tame the wild beast. The horse bucks and rears and hurls the boy to the ground, and the farmer's son breaks a leg. How unlucky, says the farmer's brother. Good thing, bad thing, who knows? The farmer replies again. The next day, all the young men of the village are called into military service, but because of the son's broken leg, he is excused from the draft. The farmer's brother says to the farmer, surely this is the best news of all. Good thing, bad thing, who knows, says the farmer, surprisingly. The farmer in the story isn't focused on what if. Instead, he is focused on what is. Don't judge the moment. That's what I said. Don't judge the moment. Focus on what you can control. I love it. So in everything that happens to you in life, you don't know if it's right there and then, you don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Only time can tell. The worst things in your life can be and tend to be the best things in your life. I'll give you 2 examples. I spoke about my ex-girlfriend in the last podcast. I think it was the last podcast or the podcast before. When I found out she was cheating on me, oh my God, it was the worst thing in the world. But in retrospect, she did nothing wrong. We both did something wrong by staying in a toxic, bad relationship. It wasn't toxic at all. It was more like a brother-sister. It was like we was friends, we cared for each other, but there was no love there. But when I found that, I felt hurt. But guess what? It was the best thing for her because she's moved on. She's living with someone, got kids. It's the best thing for me. I've moved on. I've got kids. I've got an amazing wife. It was just an amazing thing. But at the time, it was really, really bad. Another really bad time for me was when Lazo, and I was, how the hell can this be an amazing time? I've told you before. At one point, I wanted to kill myself. I thought the world would be better if I wasn't here. There is no way that anybody could benefit from me being here. That's how low I was. I actually felt embarrassed that my sons were looking up to somebody like me. I was their dad, a loser like me. And that was 5-6 years ago. That's how I felt. I really, truly believed. And by the way, we had a successful storage business. I had a successful podcast. But it was a really bad time for me. Honestly, I was in a dark place. I wasn't very, from the outside in, you'd probably say I wasn't as happy as I am now and outwardly motivated and happy, but you wouldn't say there's anything wrong with me. But inside, I was killing myself. It was really hurting. I couldn't talk to I didn't want to talk to my wife. I didn't want to tell her I was a failure. I didn't want to tell her the ins and outs of the money situations, the money problems. And it was a really, really tough time for us. But guess what? That horrible situation, and it was horrible. I'm looking back now on that being the greatest lesson. I feel privileged to have gone through that. And the problem is, the richer that we become or more successful you become, the less that my sons will have to struggle. I had the gift of that failure. I had the gift of that struggle. Why? Because nobody else could help me. There was nobody in the world that could give me money and get me out of that problem. And I had to do something. I had to get myself out of that problem. I had to educate myself. I had to learn. But my one worry now is, yes, that was amazing for me. It was a good thing, bad thing, who knows? Right then, I'd say it's a bad thing. Now I'll say it's a good thing. But because of that bad thing that turns into a good thing, it could be a bad thing for my kids, because now they will have to be resourceful, because I've educated myself in such a way now that we I don't want to say we're successful, but well, yesterday's episode was all about success. Yes, we've been successful. We've been, I was going to say very fortunate because I like to play it down, but yeah, we're very, very successful. And now that means that my kids won't have to be as resourceful as I was, because if there's any problems or any issues in terms of money, we will hopefully be able to help them out. But again, good thing, bad thing, who knows? So ultimately, Lazo was a bad thing at the time. It went into a good thing, but ultimately it could be a bad thing, because it could mean that because of Lazo, my sons won't be able to have that resilience, that lesson, because I will be always there to pick them up and try to put them back on the right track. And so I've got to be very, very careful of that. So in terms of your own life, when bad things happen, remember the worst things, the baddest things, the most miserable times of your life is when you learn most from. You get most from. You get to see that your naked self, your true thoughts, your feelings. And it is really, really a gift. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't mean health, etc. Although there is a spin on it. You could be a lot. It could be a wake-up call and you could be healthy, but I'd like to stay away from that, because somebody listening about, whatever illness, instead really serious illness here, how can that be a positive thing? So I want to stay away from the health, and I want to concentrate on the things that money, for example. When you think you've got a money problem, do you know what? Is it really a bad thing? Will you see this as a bad thing in the long run? Who knows? I don't know if it's going to be good or bad. Is this podcast going to be good for me or bad for me in the long run? Who knows? We don't know. So the whole part of this is that when good things happen, do you know what? It could be a possible bad thing. When bad things happen, it could possibly be a good thing. So just be mindful that we don't know the outcome of your life, your book. You have got a story. This is a story that you're going through, and we don't know what the outcome is just yet. So all the bad things, all the negativity, they could be the most powerful moments of your life. And that makes me happy, because when I'm going through a bad situation or a tough time, I realize that this bad situation, this tough time could be an investment in my future self. Oh, I've got an episode about future selves coming up as well. I can't wait. I love it. I love it all. So just remember, bad things aren't necessarily bad and good things aren't necessarily good. We don't know. We don't know how this will play out in your book, your story of your life. I love it so much. All right, my friends, tomorrow is a book review day. And then on Sunday, we have got an inspirational quote for you, my friends. Okay, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. It's been a longer episode than normal, but I love this episode because we just don't know what things are. We don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, because we don't know how it plays out in the end. And if you lost your job or you're losing your job or for whatever reason, we don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It could lead to something absolutely incredible, but you just don't know it yet because it's around the corner. We can't see around the corners. We can't see into the future. But all I do know, if you stay positive, you stay working, if you carry on your path, I promise you, everything will work out, or it has done for me anyway. And I hope it works out the same for you guys as well. I love you. I appreciate you. And I am definitely going now. I just love this episode so much. I hope you guys have loved it as much as I have. All right, my friends, I will speak to you tomorrow morning. See you soon. Bye-bye.